What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we are getting into my first 72 hours with the OnePlus 7T. So obviously tech season is in full swing, and I've had this phone for about 9 days now, but I actually haven't had a chance to give it proper usage time until just about a few days ago. So I think it's pretty awesome. But either way, I'm gonna go over my favorites here and some possible improvements that can be made. So with the OnePlus 7T, there are a lot of similarities to the 7 Pro. Now this is considered kind of the little brother of the 7 Pro, or the successor to the 6T, if you want to call it that, but there are a few things that we're going to go over here. So around the front side, we have a 6.55-inch fluid AMOLED display that's got a 90 hertz refresh rate, which just looks awesome. Anytime you're getting above 60, I give it the huge thumbs up. But on top of that, we have a resolution of 2400 by 1080, and of course, we do have the little water drop display notch at the top, which I personally don't mind. Like, it's not that intrusive to me, and realistically, nothing happens up there anyway. So if you're gonna complain about the water drop, I feel you, but for me, it doesn't matter. The display here is nice and bright. I believe they quote like up to 1000 nits brightness. I don't know. It's pretty bright. It's really good. There's also a reading mode available as well that does some changes to the colors and stuff, but it really didn't do much for me. So let's talk about the design here. Now, this phone is very reminiscent of, well, the 7 Pro, and that is because it's in the same family. Let's be real here. Okay, so this camera design is a little bit odd to me. Like, I'm just not a big fan of the huge circle on the back end, and it kind of reminds me of a Moto Z in terms of the circular camera design, but we'll get into camera in a little bit. I do like the frosted glass on the back. This blue color is absolutely beautiful in my opinion, and overall the phone is a nice size. Like, I feel like it's a pretty good size for the display size and everything that's involved here. I like the design a lot. Of course, we are on team no headphone jack here, whatever, not a big deal to me, at least in my use. I prefer wireless anyway. But let's get back to that camera design though. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the circle, but there are 3 lenses in this camera, and they make for a pretty good combination. So everything here is similar to the 7 Pro, and I'm gonna keep referencing that because it really is. So on the backside, we do have a 48 megapixel main lens that actually takes that data and pushes it down into a 12 megapixel photo, giving you nice detailed photos that I'm a big fan of. Now, we do also have a 16 megapixel ultra wide lens and a 12 megapixel 2x optical zoom lens. Now, the camera works great. I mean, it's the same results you can expect from the 7 Pro, which if you want to see that video that I did, I'll leave that link below in the description as well. I have seen some improvements with the recent software update, so, take that for what it's worth, but I really do like the camera. I mean, it's 2019, people. Like, cameras are kind of at a point where they're all pretty good for what we're gonna use them for on social media or Facebook, etc., blah, blah, blah. There is a cool macro mode on here, though, that actually works pretty good to get some nice close-up detailed shots of things, and I'm a big fan of it. Nightscape mode is great for low light as well, but let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section below, and I'll be sure to leave a full gallery in the description in case you want to check out the full resolution photos from the OnePlus 7T. Now let's talk about the video stabilization. When you're shooting 1080p video on this thing, like, I'm just gonna show you, I'm shaking the phone around, as you can see, and the video is much stabler than I'm actually doing. There's actually a slight a delay to the movements on there, and that's because it's using electronic stabilization and it's analyzing everything and giving you much smoother video. So that, combined with the optical image stabilization, just makes for some very smooth video. The front-facing camera is, well, it's okay. I'm not gonna rave about it too much, but it's a front-facing camera and it gets the job done. So let's talk about overall performance here. Obviously, a new phone out of the box is going to be buttery smooth across the board, but this one has a few tricks up its sleeve. First off, we have the Snapdragon 855 Plus processor. There's 8 gigabytes of RAM in here, 128 gigabytes of storage, and unfortunately for Team Micro SD card, you ain't got one on here. So you're gonna be stuck with the base storage capacity that's available on this phone. But personally, I'm not going to use more than that. I don't know, let me know what you think about the lack of an SD card slot in the comments section. Of course, this is running Android 10 out of the box, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, performance is buttery smooth, and it's going to be after only having this in use for 3 to 4 days. So if you want to see a follow-up review on performance, definitely be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. But I think overall, this is one of the snappiest phones that you're gonna get in 2019. $119 at its price point. Of course, we do have an in-display fingerprint sensor right here, which is lightning fast, as you would expect, and a stupid fast face unlock, even though it's not as secure. But I personally just prefer the face unlock because it's just like that, and the thing is open. Now let's talk about battery life for a second. So inside here, we have a 3,800 milliamp hour battery, and you may think to yourself, wow, that's pretty big. Well, big battery capacity doesn't always equal great battery life, and I've only been getting average battery life out of this with about 5.5 hours of screen on time. 5.5 hours is still pretty good in my opinion, but what's even more impressive is the new warp charge with this thing. So quite literally, this phone will go from 0 to 100 in roughly under 60 minutes, and that's pretty damn fast. But more impressively than that, the new version of Warp Charge will go from 0 to 70% in 30 minutes. So yeah, it takes 30 extra minutes for that other 30% to charge this up. But I think that regardless of the screen on time, when you plug this in for 15 to 30 minutes, you're already at 70% ready to go for almost another day. Overall though, for $599, this basically matches spec for spec, if not a little bit better in some departments than most flagship Android smartphones on the market. And I really don't think that you can go wrong with this, especially if you've been eyeing OnePlus for a little while. I think now is the time to buy in, especially with this at its price point. Like I said, I really can't complain when they're giving so much for so little in comparison to the rest of the market. But I want to know what you think about the OnePlus 7T in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when new videos like this drop, because I love you. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. This is Dom, and I will catch you in the next video.